I think it is safe to say that the Green Bay Packers more than exceeded what everyone's expectations were for this team heading into 2023. When you look on paper what the Green Bay Packers had and what they finished and how they finished, how they ended up their season, they more than exceeded everyone's expectations. Of course, there are those fans out there that think that their team is good enough to go to the playoffs, not just go to the playoffs, but go to the Super Bowl year after year. Okay. I'm not talking about those unrealistic fans. I'm talking about a realistic fan. I'm talking about analysts, ESPN, all those big name analysts out there, ex players, commentators, social media. No one expected the Green Bay Packers to finish the way that they did. And you can attribute that to two factors: head coach and general manager. In this video, I'm going to talk about how the Green Bay Packers got screwed when it comes to head coach and executive of the year voting. Okay. AP coach of the year, Rob Manny tweeted out this. Okay. Stefanski wins with more first place votes. Okay. They tied for votes overall. Okay. They tied in points 165, 165 when you talk Kevin Stefanski there with the Browns and then D'Amico Ryans in Houston. And then you've got Dan Campbell below that at 33 votes, not even close to the 165 points system there. And then you got Dan Campbell, like I said, at 33. Kyle Shanahan underneath that at 26. They're in San Francisco. They got Harbaugh with 26, McVay with 21, Tomlin at 5, Shane Steichen with the Colts at 4, doubling Matt LaFleur's votes at 2. Somebody explain to me how on earth, okay, so the Green Bay Packers, they make history, okay? The Green Bay Packers make history out there in taking one of the youngest teams in NFL history to the playoffs. Not only do they go to the playoffs, they go to I think a Dallas Cowboys team that had the most points scored, points for, right? Going into in the regular season, going into the playoffs, a team that was 8-0 at home. The Green Bay Packers go in there and absolutely embarrass the Dallas Cowboys. You can contribute. Okay, so I said going into that game, coaching was going to win that game. Matt LaFleur proved that he got his team ready to go out there, ready to play, ready to perform, ready to go into Dallas and embarrass the Cowboys. He got Jordan Love ready for that game. Okay, so the way that you look at Matt LaFleur, okay, so when we start talking Jordan Love at the beginning of the season, okay, you had those analysts out there that were like, oh my gosh, you had Colin Cowherd that was just saying, man, Jordan Love, this guy's going to be nothing more than a backup, okay? Now Colin Cowherd is eating his words, and he already said that. He admitted that, okay? So that is why I'm bringing Colin Cowherd into this mix, because Colin Cowherd was just like, hey, I was dead wrong. This guy is going to be a superstar in this league, and I completely agree with that. But you got to contribute that to Matt LaFleur's coaching, how he set Jordan Love up at the beginning of the season, how he was able to foster along and grow this young quarterback. Yes, it was his 4th year in the league. The way that they groomed him was absolutely brilliant and beautiful and something awesome to watch. I was first in line to be one of those Jordan Love haters of like, this dude doesn't have it. Why on earth did they not bring back Aaron Rodgers? All of that stuff. I was first in line to do that. I am going to be first in line to just eat my words and be like, wow, what Brian Gutekunst saw in Jordan Love when he drafted him, what Brian Gutekunst saw in Jordan Love when he decided to let Aaron Rodgers go. And now we are set up incredibly well in the draft. And then having Tom Clements there has the QB coach, right? And then you've got Matt LaFleur setting him up, fostering him along, only allowing Jordan Love to do those small little dump passes down until he built up that confidence. And then he started throwing 20 yards down the field at ease to these young and talented, the youngest team out there when we're talking roster. You've got Jaden Reed, Brian Gutekunst's draft. Matt LaFleur coached him along. Dontavian Wicks Keep in mind that the Green Bay Packers were completely littered with injuries when we were talking about Christian Watson and what Christian Watson, his lack of being out on the football field and what he was out there. Matt LaFleur's belief in him, Jordan Love's belief in him to just keep going to Christian Watson, build up that confidence, and then all of a sudden he's out again. And then the Green Bay Packers have to adjust. That is coaching. That is not an easy thing to do. Okay, so when you start talking about Kevin Stefanski and what he was able to do with the Cleveland Browns despite all of the injuries, I get it. Kevin Stefanski is a great coach. I'm not taking anything away from him. Deshaun Watson is a way overrated quarterback in this league. Okay, I think Deshaun Watson is not even a starter in this league, in my personal opinion. Okay, you can make the argument. Okay, so he had a QBR he had 7 touchdowns, 4 picks when he was playing this season before he got hurt, and a QBR rating of 42.8. Joe Flacco came in there, had a QBR rating of 90.2. You can make the argument that Joe Flacco was better on that Cleveland Browns team than Deshaun Watson was. So was it really a quarterback hurdle that he was coming and getting over? Again, Kevin Stefanski, what he was able to do to coach along Joe Flacco to get him ready to get this Cleveland Browns team. But then they get to the playoffs and they get completely embarrassed. You can't overlook that. What DeMeco Ryans incredibly outplayed him in the playoffs. So how on earth does he finish below in votes? Just by that accomplishment alone of just going and embarrassing the Cleveland Browns, he should be ahead of them. And then you've got Dan Campbell and what Dan Campbell, and you look at Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell built in Detroit is incredibly impressive to see. Okay. So then you've got Kyle Shanahan. You look at his roster. Okay. So when we start talking Colin Cowherd, I was listening to him the other day, the Herd, right? And he was saying, and this actually happened to become after my video. I released my video, then I get into the car and I go pick up my wife from work. And then I'm listening to Colin Cowherd, and Colin Cowherd was just saying that he thinks that the San Francisco 49ers, the Detroit Lions, and the Green Bay Packers are the 3 best teams in the NFC. I just got done saying that on my video. I'm not saying that I know everything by any means. I don't. Okay. But Colin Cowherd, just guys like that are out there that believe in this team, the believe in this. This is the youngest roster out there. Okay. And the Packers were able to accomplish what they did. Again, it takes a general manager going and seeing the talent and drafting it, and then the coach putting it and assembling it all together. I'm not saying Matt LaFleur should be in the top 1 or even 2. Okay, because here's what I'm saying. A coach hires their defensive coordinator there. Okay, so Joe Barry was the defensive coordinator there. I do think that Matt LaFleur hung on to Joe Barry a little bit too long. Okay, so I think that does knock him out of that first place vote. But you can make the argument that the 3 best coaches in the league were Dan Campbell, DeMeco Ryans, and Matt LaFleur. But how on earth, when you start taking a look at that list, and let's take a look at that list again, how on earth is Andy Reid not on that list? Tomorrow we're going to talk about the general manager. Okay, and we don't have time for that. I'm going to create this. Dude, this video would end up going about 20 minutes because I'm so fired up right now. How on earth did Matt LaFleur not get more than just 2 points on this Coach of the Year voting system? And how is Andy Reid not on this list? Yes, he's got Patrick Mahomes. They're the most talented player on the planet when it comes to football. You can make that argument. Okay, I can't stand Patrick Mahomes, but you can't argue the fact that he's the most talented player out there. Andy Reid continuously puts his team and builds his team up for success. Yes, he does have Patrick Mahomes there, so I do get that, okay? He should be at least mentioned on that list. Nobody could convince me otherwise. I think Andy Reid is a brilliant coach. The fact that they keep going to the Super Bowl year after year, okay? But how on earth is Matt LaFleur not up higher on that list? Nobody can win that argument with me. And if so, leave your comments. Am I way off base? And if so, it's going to have to take a lot of convincing to me. I think Matt LaFleur is a top 3 coach in this league. I really do. I think what Matt LaFleur was able to do with this young team is unprecedented. It fires me up that the fact that he got completely screwed over. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about general manager, executive of the year, and how on earth Brian Gutekunst is not on that list? Go Pack, go.